Let's drink some beer. This is all just a desperate cry for attention. Oh God, we're sucking it now.
I want to be able to grow more dicks. Dude, this is consensual.
I am Frank.
Dude, yeah, psychic powers like crazy.
Alright, well anyway, welcome to Far Out Flicks. I'm your host, Braden, and this is Andrew.
Mr. Andrew right here.
And yeah, we're ready to talk about the movie today, Fantastic Planet.
Or, in its French title, Savage Planet. But we'll get to that in a second. Fantastic Planet. So yeah, well, welcome to episode 4. For our long-term listeners of 4 episodes. Or
Exactly.
perhaps this is your first time. If it's your first time, we always encourage that you listen and you watch the movie before listening to the podcast.
Exactly.
There will be spoilers, otherwise this is more about us having fun. It's like drinking a beer and talking about a flick with your friend.
Or if you want to hear about a new movie that you could watch.
Yeah, I mean, you could certainly listen in if you don't mind having some kind of preliminary knowledge going into it.
Exactly. But to our 10 listeners, we thank you.
And our 7
Patreon-
subscribers.
Our Patreon, listen, our Patreon is coming soon.
It
It's
is.
coming you won't have to wait much longer for exclusive content.
And again, the OnlyFans, Dr. Tentacle Puss 420. Yes, so we're approaching episode 5. That's our kind of like benchmark where we are going to start officially hosting the series.
It's coming.
It is coming.
After episode 5.
Which is 1 away.
That's a freaking huge milestone. Are you nervous at all?
I mean, I'm nervous to spend the money, but overall, not so nervous.
No, we have to project it to the people.
Well, we'll know if we really suck at that point, because like X amount of people aren't just going to listen to a podcast on YouTube, because you like if it's on your phone, you got to keep it fucking up unless
Exactly.
you've
That is
configured
a
it.
major issue.
It is. It's a flaw right now, as has been pointed out by of our 105 or so total views between all 3 of the original episodes. A solid 10% have said put it on where I can listen to it. So without much ado, is that the right thing to say? I don't know. Without further ado, Fantastic Planet.
Fantastic Planet. So, I love this movie.
It's a total sensory experience minus like tactile, and
Exactly.
I guess smell. So that's like a lot of senses. But the soundtrack is super, super rad. It reminded me a lot of like one of my favorite trip hop artists, DJ Frame, to give
Nice.
another plug in this episode. Beats the Blaze 2 Volume 1 through 4, if you need some extra Googling. But it's kind of like a very like chill, like funk-ish, like, I don't know.
Pink Floyd vibe. It's good.
It is good, but it's almost like a chill hop, trip hop ish feel as well. Not so heavy on like the percussion necessarily, but like
Exactly. If
the
you change
melodic
that to a
tunes.
modern hip hop beat, like that shit works.
Which again, DJ Frame, definitely worth a listen. So yeah, break some more down for us real fast.
All right. So, Fantastic Planet is a French movie. It's an animated film from 1973.
We said we'd never do it, but here we are doing a Frenchy film. Just kidding. A lot of respect for the French people and culture and all they've contributed to food, namely.
They
But
definitely
also the
contributed
arts.
some like fucking crazy stuff to philosophy and existentialist thought.
I
And
mean, yeah,
art.
if you want to be a nerd about it, but their food is fantastic.
So, how would you just watched this movie
For the
How
first
would you-
time.
For the first time, how would you describe what you saw?
So I'm a big fan of animated films. This, given when it was made, definitely has some like very heady psychedelic vibes, which were common
yeah.
during that period. I mean, it is like a sci-fi film, but ultimately, it's allegorical.
Yep. Spot on, I think.
Yeah, and it's been interpreted one of two ways.
I think it can be
A
interpreted
lot of
in
ways.
multiple ways, honestly.
But two things
More
that
than
came
two.
two things that came to mind for me is kind of like the on the surface speciesism, which we'll get into as we discuss this film more, but also potentially an allegory for racism. Bare minimum, it carries a lot of the undertones of I would say the younger generations at the time, like environmental concern,
Exactly.
animal rights, perhaps racism as well, certainly speciesism, which my environmental ethics teacher would be so glad that I remember the word speciesism.
So this movie was based on the 1957 novel Alms on Syri by Stefan Uhl, a French writer. And that book came out around the same time as the original book that Planet of the Apes is based on.
Which is
I wish I don't have it in front of me, but
show notes. Just kidding, we're not putting it in the show
it's
notes.
similar. So it's around that time the original book for Planet of the Apes came out, which was a French book, and I don't remember the French.
That was a
name
French
for it.
book as well.
Yes, around the
God,
same
they
time,
really did,
and they really
influence so
bear
much.
some resemblances, wouldn't you say?
For sure. Like the role of man as the superior being on said planet is flipped on him. The script is been flipped. For those of you who have not seen the Planet of the Apes and any of its many iterations, so,
My favorite one
No, you
is
know what, no, if you
Planet of the Apes and the Subterranean Mutants. Have you seen that one? I think
I
it's
actually have
I
it.
believe it's the third
It's
one.
my favorite now as well, and I haven't seen it yet.
That
But
one's quite good.
But if you haven't seen any of the Planet of the Apes films, you should, I don't know, just turn
Just
on
watch them.
any cable
Maybe
major
we'll
movie
do-
network channel.
Maybe we'll do Planet of the Apes eventually.
It's kind of far out.
Tell people what it's about. Oh, I love Planet of the Apes.
The monkeys surpass humans. They're better than humans.
I don't want to. We're probably gonna do an episode on it. But have you ever seen?
I just spoiled
I
it
think-
all right there.
I think is it Tim Burton? Did Tim Burton do a Planet of the Apes movie? I'm pretty fucking sure he did, dude.
he
And then that
very well
one,
might
the
have.
girl ape looks like Michael Jackson, and
Oh,
if I
yeah.
showed you the
It's the one with
picture-
Mark Wahlberg, right?
yeah, maybe.
Did Tim Burton really do that?
I think it is Tim Burton.
I know the monkey you're talking about.
It looks
specifically.
exactly like Michael Jackson.
Like the female monkey?
Was it? Yeah.
And she owned Mark Wahlberg at one point? It is Tim Burton. You win, Braden. You win. You beat me. You got it.
So there's all these kind of socio-political undertones, but really on the surface and at its true essence, it's just a lot of trippy visuals of aliens meditating and astral projection. They're meditating egos into the cosmos.
Yeah, it's super duper heady. And again, the soundtrack, you could roll up a fatty and 100% just listen to that and probably have a fantastic time. So the film starts out with what appears to be a human woman, scantily clad in the caveman kind of way, running with a child in tow and trying to go up this hill.
And then when she gets to the top of the hill, a giant blue hand smacks her down.
I think it just blocks her at first.
Yeah,
Block.
it stops her.
Block.
It fucks her up.
Yep.
And then basically what you come to find out is, it's giant blue aliens.
And they're teasing this thing, kind of maybe a kid would fuck with an ant or a beetle or some other, insect. Not saying that's not a sign that your child might be a psychopath, but I do think a fair amount of normal-ish children, fuck with a bug or something at some point. Not a nice thing to do, but
So these giant
I certainly didn't do it.
So these giant creatures are giant blue alien humanoids with fish gills or something.
Ears, right?
They have their ears are fish fins.
Yeah.
And They're bright blue with glowing red eyes.
Very unsettling. If that's what aliens look like, I'm not. I just would rather it be gray.
Just to paint a visual, if I could describe just the visual style of this film. So, the way they made this animation was with paper cutouts and stop motion.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's all hand drawn in kind of a colored pencil looking style, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, for those of you who perhaps are struggling to envision this but have seen Monty Python films, it's like very similar to the Monty Python animated segments of their films, Meaning of Life, the whole Quest for the Holy Grail.
Exactly. And it's also the same style that South Park originally was doing, where they actually like stop motion pieces of paper.
Of course, eventually moving to a more digital animated format because stop motion takes forever to do.
But it truly is like a lost.
Expensive.
It's like a lost art, though.
Absolutely,
like, it really is. Like I love all that, all the old practical special effects, all the different ways. In so many ways, they. What am I trying to say? Doesn't matter.
Only you know, my friend.
It's
yeah, no, it is a lost art, and it's something that...
It's a lost art.
I really fell in love with stop motion with, like, Wallace and Gromit, which is a fun for all ages, if you have not seen those.
And, like, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, that's, like, more like a kind of, like, golden era of,
That's
like...
a trippy movie, dude.
That's not
abominable fucking. There's a fucking elf who wants to be a dentist.
Yeah, I guess the idea.
And he goes to the island of misfit toys. Like, how trippy is that?
Yeah, and there's like some red freaking tyrant running a sweatshop full of little people fucking fixing shit or making toys for the kids.
Exactly.
It is pretty far out. But yeah, so the film starts with these big blue beings tormenting what looks like a human woman and her child, to the point that they tease it to death, with the child surviving. And in that moment, an adult, one of these blue things, and another child walk up, and it's revealed that these are children, the ones, basically torturing this poor. It's like the humans would be like the size of a mouse.
Yeah,
some real Gulliver's Travel kind of situation.
And the humans are called ohms.
Ohms, and the big blue things are called drogs.
Drogs. And so the drogs are like the civilized species. They have science and civilization and like psychic abilities.
Yeah, they're superior in every way to the ohms, little human beings.
They're more like animals.
Yeah, and in fact, that's what the drogs call them. But so the grown-up drog and his daughter, which is revealed shortly, walk upon these kids tormenting it. The kids run off, and they basically find the little ohm baby, and the daughter wants to keep it as a pet.
So, and this ohm baby is the main protagonist of the film, I would say. He's called Tear. And she immediately starts like petting him and treating him as her special little pet and dressing him in some interesting outfits.
Very, very interesting outfits. Something I think that's worth like noting early on is that the father Drog is an influential member. They refer to him as Master, whatever his name was, but he's almost sympathetic towards the Ohms at this point. The daughter asks, is the mother dead? Or is this one dead? And he says, unfortunately.
Interesting.
Which perhaps is not his sentiment throughout the whole film.
But he was also the one who was like, you gotta learn how to control your ohm.
Sure. I mean, I'm not saying this guy's got like a wholly, like, ohm positive mindset, but he did show some degree of, like, remorse. Don't be a hypocrite. The hypocrites are the worst. So they bring this thing home and they outfit it with like a collar that the girl has like control over with a wrist watch. It's basically like a shock collar, but instead of shocking it, well, we don't know everything it can do at this point, but it just drags him back when she like turns the dial to 2. It's more like a pet, like a hamster or like, I don't know, beta fish or something. but like a betta fish that tries to escape and is maybe sentient.
So at this point, you learn that the giant blue people, the Drogs, they have this crazy technology and these psychic powers where they meditate all the time. And
Yeah, it's like this real trippy sequence where they like fuse together and start like, I don't know, changing shapes, and it gets interrupted. And one of them's, the girl's father is like, the creative energy was high today. I'm sorry that it was interrupted. It's kind of like they're jamming. They're fucking jamming, man.
and this part's like a visual masterpiece. Like, it's 4 blue humanoid aliens lined up in a row, and their bodies start turning into these masses of swirling colors to just slowly change from one pattern to the next.
Different shapes.
Where they look like nerves and all sorts of weird stuff.
Yeah, they're basically like, I don't know, psychically linked and fucking expressing I gotta express yourself, expressing themselves.
Exactly, and then later on we actually learn that when the aliens meditate, they can like leave their body in a bubble.
And believe me, they do.
They fucking bubble up quite a bit.
Bubble up?
Film.
they bubble up, man. So, anyways,
bubble up.
we see like a sequence of this little ohm
Honestly,
named Terra, which is like Terra, like Earth.
Honestly, these motherfuckers, they're social distancing, man.
They keep their distance
Honestly,
better
what
than
better
people.
way?
Better than humans do. Way better than humans do. So, yeah, we're having round 2 of COVID. Brace yourselves. Get your toilet paper now. You heard it here first. Or second or third, whatever.
Meat is going to run out.
There will be cannibalism in the streets before that happens. Anyways.
So, the main little human is Ter, and he's the pet of this little girl. And she just tortures him and dresses him like a woman. And
we can't say that definitively, but he does look like a baby.
He's wearing like some 80s workout clothes, like you'd imagine, like... Who's the famous 80s?
I was going to say Eric Pride's Call on Me. You know that music video?
Oh, no.
Oh, man. Worth a watch.
I'm thinking of who's the 80s... Love is a Battlefield. Who's the... She was hot.
She was hot. Yeah, it's like basically like, I don't know, a bodysuit. Who's wearing a bodysuit?
It's like women's gymnastic clothing or
with
something.
like lots of like like a onesie or whatever.
But he has a turban with a horn coming out of it, and as you said, it's like kind of like a Vegas showgirl.
Yeah, very very peacock-like in his attire.
And then later it gets a little bit older, and she dresses him like a pink. She dresses him like a pink poodle
with like little goofy like clown feet as well to go with it.
And he just looks miserable and emasculated and humiliated.
I would be humiliated to be dressed that way, almost definitely.
Yeah, you've had some stories.
Oh yeah, my mom used to dress me in this little sailor outfit when I was younger, and it is truly the most embarrassing photos in my family photo albums. But one day I finally just told her that I didn't look beautiful when she dressed me like a little sailor, and she respected that, and she stopped dressing me as such.
I mean, when you told me this story earlier, I understood everything in just like a flash of fucking vision.
Yeah, she got me.
She got you.
She got me good.
She got you pretty good.
Oh man, thanks, Mom.
It's okay.
Happy belated Mother's Day.
I'm sure it happens, man. I'm sure it happens.
Yeah, it does. So this little Ohm, who's been like, he's been learning via the headset this blue drog child uses to like get her lessons, which is again way before He's learning simultaneously with her. So this Ohm child has been learning like psychically while his master.
Oh, that's against the rules.
It's not supposed to be happening, but he's learning their language. He's learning biology. I mean, this like really sounds like a biology textbook. Some of her lessons that we get to listen in on.
It's almost like the privileged upper class like retain all of the knowledge or something. I don't know.
For sure.
You know? They
Yeah.
definitely set the narrative to where they're the sophisticated ones.
The educated, the enlightened, the all-around superior. But the Ohm here is learning. I mean, he is very clearly capable of learning.
Clearly, it almost is like he's their equal, even though he looks different.
And he's, well, also like 1/10 their size and doesn't have psychic powers. But, overall, he is sentient at a bare minimum, and intelligent. So, eventually, there's a scene where he kind of like decides to make an escape and steals the headset with him.
Yes, so the headset is what she was using to learn all of the esoteric alien cult knowledge.
Yeah.
And,
Just call it their education, but sure.
Both.
Both. All of the above.
So, all of this shit's pretty fucking wild. And at one point, the aliens are like, oh, it's time for the young ones to have their ritual where they learn how to meditate. So they have their kind of induction ceremony where they all of the young aliens, the young drogs, they all go and meditate together, and then they come out in little bubbles, and each bubble has like, what would you say?
Like a little miniature of them inside.
Yeah,
of it.
each bubble they're sitting inside, and it's like an astral projection of themselves.
Yep. So it's like a psychic debutante's ball, basically, or bar mitzvah, whatever.
So imagine all these like little bubbles floating in the sky with these blue aliens meditating lotus position inside of them while this crazy psychedelic Pink Floyd shit plays. I mean, would you say that the people who made this shit are like tripping on acid, or
I would struggle to say there wasn't some psychedelics fueling.
that's what it feels like. I mean, have you ever had an experience where you left your body like they do?
No, I can't say I've ever had an out-of-body experience.
Have you ever had a lucid dream?
I have had lucid dreams, yes.
What did you can you describe one, or?
So a lot of mine, it's like they're lucid and I lose the control that I have over it at some point, like usually right before I wake up. Some of the earliest ones I can remember was like Dragon Ball Z, like I could fly around and shoot energy blasts out of my hands.
That's pretty legit.
It was super legit.
Did you feel like that's what you were choosing to do?
Yes.
So in your dream, like, did you discover you had those powers, or were you like,
I just did it.
oh, I'm Andrew and I'm in a dream, and like if I could do anything I wanted, this is what I would do?
I think it started with like flying, and then like it's probably my
shooting energy. That's an obvious.
But then I lost control and I engaged in like a fight against I don't remember if it was a specific Dragon Ball character or just something along those lines. But anyways, started fighting him and like lost my ability to fly at one point and just started like plummeting
you gotta
down.
go Super Saiyan.
I didn't have that power and control yet. My
Back to
power
the training.
levels weren't
Back
over
to the
9,000.
training planet. Dude, I had a really interesting, a very fascinating dream this week.
Okay,
So, like,
do tell.
I kind of had some stress in my life lately, and I had this dream where I was flying through the air, kind of like Superman, similar to your dream.
Yeah, sweet.
And as I'm flying, but I'm high in the sky, like airplane high, like fucking looking down. And I see this billowing smoke coming from somewhere. So I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go check that out. So I fly down, I land where the smoke is coming from, And there, very, very tiny, I get down on my hands and knees. I'm looking at this shit with a magnifying glass.
Okay.
I'm looking at it with a magnifying glass. And it's two tiny praying mantises fighting. This is a dream I had this week. So I'm flying.
How were they fighting? Was it like how you would imagine two praying mantises?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then one killed the other one and
Okay.
ate its head.
Wild.
That is wild. And I'm pretty sure like praying mantises actually like after the female fucks the male, she kills him and
Yeah.
eats him or something. Is
Like,
that what
lops
happens?
the head off. Yeah.
So that's fucking kind of crazy. So eats the head and then eats a couple other bugs after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then, so all of this is like, they're like a centimeter tall. I'm looking through a magnifying glass.
Alright.
And then I wake up from my dream. And I'm at a party and I'm still in my dream. Like some Inception shit.
Yeah. Dream within a dream.
And I'm at my buddy's house.
What a good trope.
But my buddy who died many years ago.
Yeah.
And I'm hanging out with him and some other people, some of who I know well, some I don't. And we go outside, and then a car is coming, and it almost hits him. Like, he just, like, I was like, we were standing in the middle of the road, and a car was coming, and I was like, I moved out of the way, and I noticed he just, like, very casually, almost to, like, act cool, just, like, waited until the last second, and it just barely missed him.
Playing it fast and loose.
Pretty much, you know, and
Yeah.
and then I really woke up. But the two praying mantis flying through the sky, seeing the smoke, landing, two praying mantises fighting, one eating the other one. That was one of the more interesting ones I had lately.
I mean, yeah, that's like way more vivid than most of my dreams. So a little
Dude,
jealous.
it was extremely vivid. I think it was because I didn't smoke weed for a few days.
That'll do it. Increase your REM sleep.
It did. I had some wild dreams for a few days.
So, back to the movie. Because we got
What movie?
what movie? We got to talk about that at some point. So we see this like coming of age ritual where the youth, you know,
All
basically meditate their consciousness into bubbles.
Good for them.
Yeah, that sounds sweet. I wish I could do that. And around this time, and I kind of jumped the shark. Or not jumped the shark.
They're
that's
just
the wrong
escaping their problems. They're just running away from their problems.
term. Doing drugs.
You can't, honestly. So that is a good point. At one point, there's like this kind of volcanic vent
Oh, yeah.
looking thing shooting out green smoke.
These,
And they all the blue aliens stand around it and inhale the green smoke.
just like taking wisps off of it. They are ripping it. I mean, they're
And I mean, they seem like everything they say just is kind of fucked up and just they're on drugs. They're on some weird drugs.
officially on drugs. They're on drug weed. So around this time though, as I kind of jumped the gun now twice. The Tear starts to like make off with one of these educational headsets and kind of like makes his escape from the drugs out into the wilderness of their planet.
He's running away from their city, and quickly he meets up with other Ohms who are basically
Specifically one to start.
specifically.
The like female lead Ohm for the rest
Yeah,
of
I'm
the
just
film.
trying to. I feel like. Well, we're at 40 minutes. We should just get through. So then the Ohm Tear escapes and he steals the headset.
Mhm.
And he takes it. He finds this girl who also wants to escape, I guess.
Yep. Another little female Ohm.
And she helps him carry it. And then eventually, and this part kind of reminded me of Dune. Because isn't it kind of similar? It's like they're like living in a weird desert planet. And there's like these savage tribe or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Quote unquote savage.
Yeah.
And they meet and basically, what do they do at first when they?
Well, when he first shows up, they all laugh at him because he's wearing again one of those silly ass outfits.
He looks like a poodle at this point.
Yeah,
I think,
Tiva dressed him up as the blue drog child. But they all laugh, and then one of them is smacking one of these crates that they managed to steal from the drogs, and it's a trap, and it sucks him in to the fucking crate, and the crate sinks into the ground. But anyways, Tear proves his worth to this new tribe because he knows the drog writing, and he can read what's on the crates and tell them what it's going to be.
Not to mention he's brought them the item, that learning headset.
Yeah.
He's brought them the item that's going to advance them in their evolution, essentially.
Yeah, so they start some of them start listening and are standing inside this giant headset, and they start learning all together, and it's almost like they're starting to develop some of the psychic abilities that the drog have.
I mean, it seems like, in a weird way, so this whole film is allegorical, but it's almost like, how there are still tribes in the Amazon and stuff that don't have written language.
Sure.
And all this. And it kind of is similar. It seems like there's an allegory going on here because the tiny humans don't seem to have evolved that.
They're wearing togas.
They have
titties
tools.
Are hanging out,
They have tools.
Mm-hmm.
And they kind of take down big game like hunter-gatherers.
And they have a language. But
they have a language, but it doesn't seem like they've developed books.
No, or
they are further
early tech beyond basic stuff.
And then it basically, this headset just bumps them up in their evolution of their society.
Now some of the Ohms kind of have a little resistance against it, traditionalist conservatives or whatever are opposed to Ohms learning. And
that happens all the time, man.
It does. And in this case, Tear is, basically he has to engage in a trial by combat where they strap these little
they're dinosaurs,
little
right?
little mini alligators, but similar to alligators to their chests, and they have to fight each other using the alligators with their arms strapped by their sides. And Tear, he emerges victorious. He gets bit, and you see the female get a little nervous. She's worried about her man, but in the end, Tear and his alligator chomp down on the traditionalist Ohm's throat and kills him.
And the female Ohm, is her tit out?
Her tit is out, man, throughout the entirety of the film, across her entire life. She is Roman toga. We went wrong, society. One tit out is
that's the way to go. They had it figured out.
How far we
lost our way. We
lost our way. So anyways, Tear emerges victorious. He survives. And so basically the Ohms start using the headset more. Now, at this time we watch, the Ohm people get terrorized by this weird giant anteater bird thing that's fucking wings or its ears. And it sticks its tongue down into their colonies and sucks a bunch of them up, and they slay it. They bring it down, working together as a team.
Oh yeah, they're learning, they're advancing their civilization.
Teamwork makes the dream work.
And it's crazy because this headset, it's almost like having Wikipedia or something. They can learn about anything they want, which I consider kind of myself and you and me both. We're kind of that first generation that really
got its hooks into Wikipedia.
Well,
or the internet.
Not Wikipedia. I would say you and I are both of that first generation that got internet at a pivotal time of our lives.
Oh yeah.
For me,
our brains were still sponges.
For me, it was probably basically middle school.
Yeah.
I was 10 years old,
elementary school.
I think I had it by the time I was 10 years old, and it was shitty ass dial up.
Oh yeah, the worst.
And but I mean, to get it at that moment of our lives is the perfect moment, man.
Oh yeah.
We're literally, I would call, I don't know if we're technically millennials, I guess.
We are.
But I would call us more like the internet age.
Now, it is worth noting that the internet was a young and unregulated and unsafe place at that time. parents, if you got kids, make sure you are keeping track of what your kids are doing. The internet is a dark, dark, terrible place. It is everything horrible you could ever imagine exists on the internet. I feel certain I was probably in an AIM, AOL Instant Messenger, for probably some of our listeners who were not alive for that, or of an age where they could use it. I was probably in some AIM chat rooms talking to people pretending to be, 13-year-old girls who were absolutely 45-year-old men with a belt around their neck.
I definitely did that shit too.
Oh yeah, dude, everybody our age did. We were all in the chat rooms, and we were probably all talking to predators.
Some of them clearly were. Looking back,
I think about the first time I had cyber sex in my puberty years, and what are the fucking odds that it was some fat, disgusting 45-year-old bald man.
I would say basically 100%.
At least one of them, right? Almost definitely.
100%.
So this device is a tele-educational, psychic headset, basically the internet, but even better. And the ohms, as we've already talked about, start learning and developing tech. At this time, the drogs start to kind of launch extermination campaigns against them, or we really see it. Some of the old ohms talk about remembering it.
They're trying to fuck up the ohms. They're trying to kill all of them.
Yeah, they gas them. They've got little domesticated.
That is fucked up. They gas them.
They also have little domesticated ohms on leashes with fucking gas masks hunting them down like hound dogs.
Yeah, they're basically like the house slaves.
Yes, exactly correct.
And I did make an interesting analogy.
Oh boy, let's hear the interesting analogy. Please, our listeners are waiting.
So these ohms they have on the leashes who are acting as, what are they doing?
They're like little fucking hound dogs, man.
Yeah, they basically have some ohms on the leashes, like little hound dogs.
Yeah.
And these are the privileged ohms who get to fucking, God damn it,
wear their fancy outfits and so yes, they've turned the domesticated ohms on the wild ohms, and they're trying to exterminate them.
Oh yeah, these are it's kind of like the fucking Jews that helped in World War II.
Yeah, and the gas masks definitely are very World War II-esque, like Pink Floyd's The Wall,
For sure.
That kind of style gas mask. But the ohms team up, and again, true Gulliver's Travel form, managed to fell one of the drogs.
Oh yeah, they fucked that motherfucker.
Yeah, they get enough hooks in him and bring him down and stab his chest with little tiny spears.
And then they drink its blood.
And then they drink his blood.
Its blood shoots out of its head. They gather it in little bowls, drink it, and then they push
Some real
Tear into it.
shit.
And Tear is just in a waterfall of blood. And it's like, alright, that's...
Dude, he gets soaked.
It's pretty fucked up.
Soaked in the blood.
And then, moving on from that, so now the drogs are like, this shit's war.
Oh yeah.
We gotta fuck these little motherfuckers up.
Full extermination mode. So they then send more out, more extermination methods out, even more than before.
Sending out rockets, and then around this time, the little humans, the ohms, they go and build a city that it's at an abandoned rocket.
Yeah, rocket graveyard.
It's a rocket graveyard.
Yeah.
So they're literally living in these rockets, and eventually, after living there for a while, they kind of reverse engineer the rockets and figure out how to make their own tiny rockets.
Correct. They shrink all the drog rocket components down and construct their own to blast off, and
it's pretty smart, man. These are some smart.
Well, it's thanks to this sweet, godlike alien tech that just fell into their laps.
Pretty much like the internet. Honestly, for me,
have you ever thought if you went back to medieval times and you just could have a functioning iPhone with service that you could just conquer everyone?
They'd probably just kill you right
away. They'd kill you for being a witch.
Pretty much.
Immediately. Although if you're like a dude, couldn't you be like a wizard maybe?
Dude.
So the Drogs get in the rocket, they shoot off. At the same time we watch, or not the Drogs, the Ohms get in the rocket, they shoot off. We see the Drogs exterminate a lot more Ohms with more techniques we've never seen before.
They have all the technology. They're basically like...
Gods, like aliens would probably
Pretty
be
much.
us.
I mean, fuck. They can control things with their minds.
So the Ohm, yeah, psychic powers, like Greys, like the aliens, like with us.
Do you think that's what the Greys want to do to us?
Make us their pets.
Well, or put us in zoos.
I personally think our anal pores are a delicacy on their planet, but everybody has their opinions. So the Ohms,
that makes perfect sense, though. I mean, as far as speciesism and all this kind of thing go, it's like, look, people eat assholes. I've fucking been to countries where they eat assholes. And
I've eaten an asshole.
it has flavor. It has flavor. We know you have. We discussed this last time. I don't know why it comes up every time, but just roll with it.
Yeah.
But, look, assholes have flavor. The dirty body parts have the most flavor. Everyone knows this.
So like a dirty part,
And
body
if
part.
you like flavor, that's what you like. And just ask any foot fetish person. The more flavor, the better.
I always assume that to be the case, but I'm glad that you've confirmed it.
The more odor, I can confirm it. Listen, here's why I can confirm it.
Because you have a foot fetish?
No, because I worked with a girl. I have a very good friend who has a foot fetish. She did share with me what that's like, and it's fucked up.
Yeah, I think most men that work at Foot Lockers have a foot fetish.
Of course.
My 2 cents on that subject.
And, yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Doesn't it? Why else would you? Why else are you going to be touching strangers' feet and slipping shoes on all day if it doesn't get your dick a little hard?
Agree. But I worked with this girl who... She would buy used shoes at Goodwill, sell them on eBay to foot fetish guys, and she said her screen name was Top Shoe Model, and like in the descriptions of the items, in the title, in the name of the item, she would write extra stinky in like all capital letters and shit, and these things would sell. So you buy them for $3. And sell them for like $50. And
we're in the wrong fucking game, mate.
But in general, she's selling new shoes online, and these foot fetish guys are intense. And what does this have to do with the fucking movie?
Well,
She sent a guy toenails for toenail clippings for an extra $20. And then one guy...
What are we doing? What are we doing?
She had to read some creepy emails.
I would read creepy emails and respond just as creepily if I got to sell my toenail clippings for $20.
She probably did. I never read her responses, but she was definitely... One guy wrote her and said, "I had fun with your shoes 3 times today." And then another one wasn't. And then
oh my gosh, is he fucking shit?
Dude. And another guy was like, "I'll send you an extra $20 for toenail clippings." Like, what does he do with them? What do you do with them? Do you shove them in your dick hole?
He's got a collection case somewhere where he keeps them all. And
how do you sexually get off from that, though?
He rolls them between his fingertips.
It seems like...
We're not making if you got a foot fetish, we don't judge. Kink-free judgment zone. Or kink judgment-free zone. There we go.
Feet are the ugliest part of the body.
But I get it. What my buddy said is... He likes pretty petite feet, and I kind of get that. Like, if a foot is pretty, you're like, alright, that's good.
Little foot
I
fetish,
will worship you.
Foot fetish movie trivia. From Dusk Till Dawn, starring, I guess, George Clooney is like the biggest
Salma
name.
Hayek.
Selma Hayek and of course Quentin Tarantino. The scene where Selma Hayek pours tequila down her leg and sticks her foot in Tarantino's mouth and has the tequila run into it. Tarantino didn't know that going into that scene. Robert Rodriguez, the director of the film, knew that Tarantino had a foot fetish and didn't tell him about it, and then had Selma Hayek, fuck his mouth with her toes while she dripped tequila down her.
Damn.
Very attractive set of legs.
Yep, absolutely. So, where are we at this point?
So the Ohms have gotten on their little reverse engineered rocket ship and they blast off. We see a bunch more Ohms get
They're
exterminated.
fighting back.
They are, but they're getting crushed. But they fly, a select number of them, including Ter and his female companion, launch off and they land on the satellite to the Drogs planet. And here there's all these like headless statues. And for whatever reason, the Ohms just seem to know that this is where the Drogs and other species come with their little psychic bubbles, and they mount onto these statues and they start dancing.
This shit's weird.
And it drives the energy of the society. Or
So
whatever.
basically, when they meditate, their bodies float in these bubbles and then land on these giant statues, as Andrew said. But these statues, it'll be a man and a woman statue with no head. The bubble lands on top, and then they dance. And then a voiceover was talking about how it's like their mating ritual.
And it's how their civilization gets energy and like. So anyways, the Ohms.
What were they trying to say with that one?
I do not know.
Let's fuck on acid.
Let's all get down.
The 60s sound cool.
Yeah, I wish I lived in the 60s.
But honestly, like, my grandfather was probably like, I don't know, in his 30s in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
And he just totally missed all of that.
Yeah, well, not everybody
You had to be at a
had
time
good
and a place and at a certain age to experience it,
Yeah.
That aspect of it.
For sure. It
Otherwise,
wasn't
they're
for
just-
everybody. It would have been for me, but not for everybody. Heady bro. So the Ohms, there is revealed through a voiceover by Ter that the dancing, mating, whatever ritual is how they get their power. So they start shooting these busts, and it like pans back, or not pans, but jumps back over, cuts over to the Drog planet, and all the Drogs who are there, all just like walking around like they're blind now or whatever.
Yeah, so if you destroy the bubble, it kills the vision of the... So the bubbles are just psychic... The bubbles are basically psychic manifestations, but their actual true forms are somewhere meditating. And when you kill the bubble, the true form...
Goes blind, basically.
Goes blind, basically.
That's what it looks like, or they're like zombies.
They go blind, which I mean kind
want
of
them to
makes
be
sense.
zombies.
It's like poking out your third eye or something.
Yeah.
And
So from there, like there's a big jump, and now there's an artificial moon that floats around the Drog planet, and that's where the Ohms live and have their own society, and their society now fuels the Drogs, and like everybody's satisfied with that ending.
I got some shit to say about this part.
All right, let's hear it, man.
Well,
Let's hear
so
your
the
hot take.
whole time, it's these savage people fighting back. They have an uprising against the sophisticated kind of upper class.
Yep.
Almost. And but at the very end, the resolution they all reach is that their planet has 2 moons. One of the moons is Fantastic Planet, or Savage Planet.
It's the Savage planet.
It's the Savage Planet. One of the moons is the Savage Planet. And that's where the Ohms have to live. The humans. The tiny humans. And the other one's the Sophisticated Moon. And that's where
they dance around in their marble statues
Yeah, that's where all the Drogs go to meditate.
with other species.
Exactly. So actually the Ohms end up building their own moon.
Yeah. Terragraph, right? Is that the word?
At the end of the day, it's almost like the conquest of America, It just take their land and make them move.
Or
And
like
eventually-
imperialism at large, like even though they've got their
Absolutely, I
own
think-
society and some of the advancements of the Drog people, they're ultimately fueling the planet still.
That seems to be the main metaphor the way I read this movie.
Yeah, but it's like pro-imperialism,
Well,
which
it's
is not a
crazy.
very 60s thing.
So
to-
here's
to
what
back.
makes it so strange. At the end of the day, the resolution is almost like the fucking Ohms have to leave their planet. They build a new planet, and then they're just segregated, and peace comes back.
For sure. And again, the Ohm's little artificial planet, which like again they're not getting exterminated
Was
anymore.
that-
But I don't know if that's like a good baseline to
They're
call
not
things
getting
even.
exterminated, but they've had to go to their reservation.
And their reservation is fueling the Drog's planet, but everything is happy and peaceful.
I mean, would you take that?
As an Ohm,
Sure.
anything not to be dressed in those fucking outfits. I mean,
Agree.
no, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. The movie's awesome, the art's awesome, the music's awesome. It's all pretty heady, progressive allegory. The ending leaves a lot to be desired.
The ending was strange.
And it just
It's
like
ended
it
with a
rolls
bit of a
fucking
mixed
credits,
signal.
man. Like it does not feel
It's like,
complete.
oh, we'll just separate and live on two different moons. The Ohms end up just leaving and building their own. It's fucking almost like some kind of manifest destiny bullshit.
Yeah, or like Liberia, you know.
It seems strange.
It's just like Liberia.
It seems strange that, like, that's how it ended. It just seems strange. The rest of it seems like pretty progressive, like hippie, equality. And
Well,
then
It was the
unless
60s.
I just totally, like, am misinterpreting how it ended, but that's what it seemed like.
It's your fucking liberal feelings getting in the way.
I don't know, man. It seemed like,
Can't just enjoy a quality flick.
nah, dude, I don't have liberal feelings. Oh, I killed those a long time ago.
Yeah, society will do that to you.
They basically will, which that's the normal pattern, so just...
The normal pattern. No, feel however you want to feel. Fight for the change you want to fight for. You might get tired of paying taxes, but, you know, whatever.
Make posts on Facebook. Just make lots of social media posts.
That's
Make it,
certain to drive
make a
change.
change. Make a change.
Be the change. all in all, a really, really good fickin'. A really, really good flick. Some like points that we didn't talk about, kind of in summary. This won the 1973 Cannes Film Festivals.
Exactly.
Oh,
And
what award was it?
the Cannes, the jury award.
Grand Prix Jury Award.
Yep. And this film, it's kind of interesting because the French creators of this film, at that time there had only been like a dozen animated films animated in France. So they actually, when they were looking for an animation studio, there just weren't many. So they actually outsourced the animation to Czechoslovakia team. And all this was being planned in 1968. And at that time, Russian tanks rolled into Prague, locked everything down, fucking pandemonium. And eventually, it took 4 years for this film to be made, essentially. And it was because of
That's
all
pretty
that
wild,
craziness. And honestly, the Czech art style that they were doing, even at that time, it was unusual.
Yeah, it is very aesthetically pleasing. It is an absolute visual work of art, an auditory work of art, and ultimately a political statement to an extent, even if the ending is a little bit maybe misguided.
And you honestly, at the end of the day, this is just a weird, drugged out, psychedelic movie, and if you read too much into it, you might be disappointed.
Yeah, I mean, take it for what it is, man. It's a fantastic voyage to a very, very imaginative sci-fi world where man's role in the food chain has perhaps been diminished. Anyways, that wraps it up. Far Out Flicks, Episode 4, Fantastic Planet. Thank you guys for joining us again this week.
Hit us up next week for the next episode, and also tell us what movie you want us to do. Cause we'll
write
do
us
your
some fan
movie.
mail. We desperately want it. Write us some hate mail. We desperately want it. We want mail. Email.
This is
Don't-
all
not
just
real
a
mail.
desperate
I would
cry
never-
for attention.
We didn't
And
get enough.
I will pay for ads to get that attention if I have to.
Don't make us do it. Write us an email. Tell us what you want. As always, like, subscribe. Please comment. Give us some feedback.
Dr. Dictopus
420.
420.
Dr. Dictopus 420. Oh no, not that account. Thank you guys again.